Welcome, welcome to the
Hello.
working group meeting. Everyone feel free to add your name. There we go. There's some more.
Hi.
I'm adding the agenda in the chat so others can join. I see a lot of you in there already. Okay. Yvonne, you're just getting here. So maybe I won't make you start Plamen. You look ready. Would you like to
Okay,
talk
I
about an
can start.
IPv6 test environment?
Yes. Okay. So as we are tight on schedule with regards to this IP version 6 topic, here I would like to bring the topic for the environment, the test environment, which is required to be adapted so that we are able to validate the IP version 6 stuff. Yeah, we had an initial discussion. A colleague of mine, Plamen Bardarov, opened the topic, and yeah, if actually here I would really like to kind of eventually propose support from our side if it's actually required, or whatever is required we can support here as well, because it is indeed important for us. But yeah. I would like to have this kind of a triggered so that we have the environment prepared once we start to merge the PRs, which are, by the way, already opened.
That's awesome. So you need a Docker container or image that we can use in our pipelines that
yes,
uses IPv6.
most probably Docker container should be kind of a IP version 6 enabled. To be honest, we were just wondering whether the environment itself, the virtual machine, underneath IP
So we
version.
might need to spin up a worker or change the worker.
Yeah.
If it doesn't allow IPv6.
That's just a kind of a initial thoughts from our side without knowing the environment at all.
Right. Okay. Hopefully, I talked to Amin about it this morning. He's having problems logging into Slack. You know, when we've had so many different company emails, he's lost track of it. So I might have you either send me an issue or create an issue so he can communicate over that and help you all with it. But that's really exciting. I'm impressed by how quickly you've moved on this. Okay, Jovan.
Turn on the camera. So the first topic is a short shout out to anyone using Golang CI-lint for linting their projects. There is a where we are using it in our GitHub actions to validate our pull request in login metrics group, and there was a new version bumped of the action which uses another version of the Golang CA, like the version 2, and the configuration is different there. So I've simply added a pull request or commit example. If someone uses it, what has to be done to fix the issues. You would probably get this version bumps of the linting action, and there are some things that have to be fixed. Example.
I've never heard of this. Does this the logging and metrics area use this frequently?
Yeah.
Nice.
We use it everywhere practically.
Nice.
So linter which has like other linters. It includes other available linters which can be configured to check the code in different ways. So.
I have to say, I'm worried about changes to error messages. anything that could be a breaking change worries me,
Yeah,
but
I know what you mean.
hopefully
Yeah,
they won't affect.
yeah, we'll see.
Okay, what's your next one about?
Um, the
What?
next thing is about the problems or the challenges which we have in the login metrics area about people contributing to the projects is that we, for some of the projects in the pull request validation, we have some jobs which are running inside of like Broadcom owned Concourse CI/CD pipelines, which cannot be seen by the contributors, or where you always have to ask someone. In our case, it's the Carson long, so that he can help us with the things which we don't see. And we also saw that some of the jobs were not running stably because the infrastructure on which the Concourse pipeline was running was not powerful enough to run the things. So we've decided to remove some of the things in things that are there, because we were running cuts on every pull request, which was a bit of overkill. So we've decided that we will rely on the cut test running in the CF deployment. On the other side, it was problematic or it's impossible to cut releases from the things for the other contributors, for the other approvers. So we've decided that we want to try to use some things with or to migrate these pipelines to GitHub Actions, so that we don't have to maintain another instance of Concourse. And but as we all are in the same boat practically, I wanted to discuss with you, what do you think about possibly some kind of a Concourse instance which will be hosted somewhere in the CFF account, so that we all can run our Concourse jobs there. But adding an instance would mean that someone will have to maintain it. I've discussed with the colleagues from the Application Runtime Deployment Group, and they have an instance. They've said to me that they've automated all of the things except some secrets or certificate rotations that are done by GCP, that which have to be done manually, or the changes have to be applied manually. But I don't know if you see the need for a Concourse instance, and how big should be it. Should we share it for our working group, or everyone can do what they need practically?
Mm-hmm.
Do the
No,
things
I
there.
definitely see your problem. I agree. It's completely unfair that you can't see and interact with the pipelines. Um, maybe I'll add a few more bits of context. One is that Broadcom is forcing us off our GCP accounts. So every GCP account that we at Broadcom are going to have is going to be inside Broadcom's firewall. So like right now, networking, for example, the concourse is run on a GCP account that many of you have access to the networking pipelines. Or like you can log in via GitHub and see the URL. You don't have to get on any firewall, behind any firewall. Those are going away imminently. Don't worry, they gave us tons of time to prepare. And so I suspect that in the very short term, we are going to simply lift and shift it to open source, exactly as it is, just to keep it running. And then we will get to have a bigger conversation of, do we want to consolidate on one concourse? Who will maintain the concourse? And then, yeah, what other pipelines we might want to bring in there. And so that would bring a chance for the logging pipelines to come into that concourse instead of a concourse that's on Broadcom's firewall, behind Broadcom's firewall. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
So here are some of the problems that are going to happen. Right now, we use, so the concourse that I run just for network, I guess it's networking and logging, and a couple other things, costs $3,000 a month in GCP. That does not include any environments, because environments are using Broadcom pooled environments. So that's just concourse costs and, like, you know, some buckets or whatever we use. Everyone is going to be doing this, right? Not just our working group. And I've been told there's a budget of $50,000 for the entire year for all of us to increase our GCP spend. Yes, that's the correct reaction. So I think sharing will be good. Geoff's working on making some pooling infrastructure so we can use Bosch Lite that spin up.
That was actually one of the things I was wondering about. The environments that you have, are they Bosch Lite or are they proper environments?
They're proper environments right now.
Because migrating to Bosch Lite would probably then make sense to also bring down the costs.
Yeah, I think a lot of our pipelines could be moved to Bosch Lite. I don't know if all of them will be able to be.
So internally, I have had some discussions with one of the colleagues from Jovan's team, and he said that he would be interested in changing some of the VBox CPI things around because it is a bit, yeah, he doesn't like the way it's currently written, I would say, and I think it has some room for improvement.
For Bosch
And I don't
Lites.
know, yes, is the VirtualBox thing something that has a good reason to be there, or could we just use some, I don't know, KVM, QEMU, or whatever VMs that don't rely on VirtualBox, which is a product that you may have to pay for in commercial contexts and so on?
Yeah, VirtualBox is one of the options how to run Bosch Lite, and in the current VirtualBox CPI is a bit a mess because it's practically like executing CLI commands and parsing the output.
Yeah.
There is one option that there's some internal API or DLL files and things for Windows, but still haven't got the time to take a look at it properly. But running with something else that it's lighter and costs less. If we have a CPI for that, would be good. Even, I don't know, the Docker CPI, although it's tricky to get it work.
So don't touch that.
No, I said that it's tricky to get it work. You know.
Yeah. So
I know what you mean.
What I was suggesting is switching it to libvirt, which is a common library for interacting with all kinds of virtualization technologies. You can support QEMU, KVM, even VirtualBox or VMware if you want to. It kind of allows the user to then choose. And running KVM would probably reduce the overhead and maybe save some. I don't know, but okay.
Yeah, I see no reason why things couldn't change.
Yeah.
But yes, I think there will be a migration period, a lift and shift period, and hopefully that will at least get the pipelines will be more available and more accessible to approvers from this working group. And then I believe there will be a period of cost reduction requests. And that could definitely be one of them. One dream that I have, that it's not where we're going next, but it's a could happen dream, is we now have a concourse working group. And could they run a concourse for us as part of their job?
So kind of concourse as a service.
Exactly. But one of the things you mentioned, Jovan, was also that you could move to GitHub Actions. And I think if that's the way that the like an area wants to move, I'm totally for that. Like you don't have to use Concourse if you want to move to GitHub Actions. And the group in that area agrees, I'm okay with that as well.
What about the
Yes.
pricing there? So do we pay for that as well, or is that there was some change recently, right?
There was a change. I'll have to look into it because I think maybe what the change was is we used to. I'll look into it. I don't remember where we're at. But if too many people start using actions, my guess is that we will start having to, you can like attach your own workers to actions.
Right, and then we pay again via
pay.
the GCP account.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, so here it is. He says 50,000 GitHub Actions minutes per month is the new limit.
That doesn't seem like a lot, but I don't know what's being used right now. So who knows? Yeah, you wouldn't want to reach a limit, right? Be like, oh, your limit can't release. But those minutes are only on their workers, right? So if you had your own
Yes.
workers, you would not be limited.
I think so, yes.
Is that per repo or per org or per what?
I think
it's for the org, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's per org, then it will be.
And I think there will be, as part of that console, you know, when we are consolidating things, I think we have many repos that could be in a single repo. So if we were going to go that direction, we can optimize in that way as well.
That's true. We've been throwing out a lot of wild cost-cutting ideas, and one is combining pipelines. So CF networking and Silk release, they're in the same pipeline right now. And we could combine more. But I'm going to say, let's focus on the lift and shift, getting you all access to it when it's there. And then as we make decisions about what's happening after that, or we'll make those decisions one by one as we go, but go ahead.
One last question. So lift and shift just the concourse or the concourse and the environments?
Not the environments. No.
So they would stay within your infrastructure and you would figure out a way to magically connect them.
No, we're losing access to them.
So we just have the concourse then?
Yes, and Geoff is working on tasks to spin up pools.
Spin up and a
Okay.
CF either in Bosch Lite or Bosch with bubble, and then destroy it when we're done with the pipeline run.
Okay. I think the others are hibernating the environments or something like that. I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that could be something you look into, like spin it up, turn off all the VMs or something, so that's more ready. This is as sudden for us as it is for you all, so. But the end result, I do think there will be some turbulence, to use a concourse metaphor. But hopefully it will result with more transparency and more access for all of the open source approvers. Are there any more thoughts about this topic or any other topic? Oh, Nat's incident. I see it's added here. Max.
I was just curious about the next steps. So they said that they will release the details, source code, whatever, 1 week roughly after the announcement, which should be this weekend. Is that correct? I would have to double check. Anyway, if you want to patch the environments before that, we need to move now, I would say. So from my point of view, the releases can be cut.
I think so, right? It made it. I saw it made it through the pipeline, right, Geoff?
No, this still needs to be approved and merged.
Oh no.
So I approved it, but didn't merge
you
it
did?
because I wasn't sure whether you want to do something about the tests or have something in the works. But I'm fine ignoring the tests for now and fixing that later.
The unit tests. I don't know where those came from. Like the GitHub action that's failing.
Me neither, but they rely on the package being in the Go mod file. So as long as you would keep the package there, the test should still be working, but they're then testing against a different version of nats, which kind of defeats the purpose. So I'd be fine with just leaving it the way it is now, and then we think
Is it-
about how we fix that later.
Is it just the
Oh,
GitHub Actions that requires the package to be there? Like when it runs it on
Oh.
Concourse? Does it
I
require
haven't
the
checked.
package to be there?
I haven't checked.
It'll probably fail unless we install the NAT CLI into the image.
Yeah, so right now I think the action, so inside the coding, someone does a go build or go install or something,
I
and
see.
that is with not downloading things because it's vendored,
Right.
and then go complain that it's not there and so on.
Okay,
Okay.
that seems like an easy fix though.
I'll
Okay.
deal with that.
Jeff.
So you will just add the package back then.
No, don't add the
Uh,
package back. Make it so it tests the right thing.
Yeah, I'll test the right thing.
Okay, then you
and get
somehow
the-
need to
the
resolve.
Binary wherever it needs to be.
Yeah. But
Test the right thing. Work on getting it out as.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll
So-
get it out before your day tomorrow. And if
Yeah.
not, you can click the release when you start tomorrow, Max.
And that's what I mean. So I would be fine with cutting the release now, releasing it, and then fixing the tests in the meantime, so to say.
Yeah.
But I also understand if you want to fix the tests first. I mean,
I'd rather fix the test. If you wouldn't go that route, you can pull off develop when it's merged. It's the same thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, again, I think we will have to patch our environments tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which means that whatever is there tomorrow, we will consume. And if that means building our own release, then that's that.
I'll try to write you an update at end of day where we're at. So you
Thanks.
can make whatever decision you want.
And out of curiosity, how do you plan on patching your, like, I mean, your delivery is a bit different, right?
Yeah. Where our plan is to wait to see what the CV is. And then they'll
Okay.
run an emergency train or not.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it's a much longer process than what your all is. I assume.
Yeah.
Because like
Again,
then our
I'm-
customers won't even like, never mind. Sorry, closed source stuff. You run your environment.
Not all of them, but yeah, most of them. Again, I'm also expecting that it's something about the authentication or something being broken. But if it's in a private network without any external access, I have a hard time seeing any issue that could crop up there.
Right. EOD note in Slack. Yes, and then that'll be good because we'll be on the binary and then we can just consume the binaries from now on. So I'm pleased with
Yeah.
this change.
It has a nice side effect. I think the release should be smaller afterwards because you remove the Go SDK, which is bigger. So
Nice. Cost savings.
cost savings. Right.
I am also working on getting us on an embargo list so that we can find out what these issues are. We have not heard back from them about this issue, so I
Okay.
still don't know what it is. But hopefully in the future, that's on I'm working with the security working group on that.
Nuts wasn't Nuts kind of created from within Cloud Foundry to some extent?
I know. I was surprised too.
Okay.
Okay. Any other things that we want to talk about?
Just wanted to mention one thing. I saw that the Zoom meeting link in this document was wrong.
Oh, is it incorrect?
So I copied the one from the Google Calendar which we have.
Is it already updated? So it's correct now?
Should be, yeah, but
Okay.
I don't know. See Google and things. That should be okay.
Yeah, Google does this weird
I
redirect
used the one
thing.
from the Google Calendar and it works.
Okay.
Yeah, I clicked this time in the document, and then I was alone in another meeting. That's how I saw it. But
Yep. Well, thank you so much for updating that.
you're welcome.
Okay. If that's it, I will talk to you all later. Happy April.
Bye bye.
Thanks,
Bye
bye.
bye.
You too.